Nick from Ontario came to pick up his 300 TDI 90, and at the same time he dropped off another military 90. But this time it's a proper 2.5 naturally aspirated 2.5, but doesn't run. So I thought we'd go through the steps and, you know, what we can we get it to go? I mean, what time's it now? It's 5 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. I should be having a shandy or a sherry. Anyway, first things first. What do? The car's not running. Been stood for donkey's years. Well, first of all, we get the key and we turn it to see if there's any power. No power. Check. If there's a battery. No battery. So we put a battery on and crank it over and it won't start. Alright? Okay, that's no problem. Because this is a 2.5 naturally aspirated, it's got a very old injection system on, which is subject to a gnat's testicle amount of air in the system. It doesn't support air like a 300 TDI or a 200 TDI does. So check the fuel gauge, and the light was on, but no one was at home. So I've just put $25 worth of diesel in it, and it's got it up to the quarter mark, so it must have been absolutely bone dry. So what I'm going to do now is I've cracked off the top of the fuel filter, and I'm going to see if it's going to pump through diesel. Now, to make sure that I've got the lift pump in the right place, or wherever it should be, I cracked off the pipe that goes into the fuel filter, and give it a couple of pumps and diesel was coming out, so that's good. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Okay? Whenever you do a diesel on these older diesels, the first thing you've got to do is bleed the fuel filter. You can't go and bleed the pump straight away, you've got to bleed the filter. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I've cracked off the pipe here, which is the pipe leading from the lift pump up until the fuel filter, and there was fuel coming out of it, so we know that the lift pump is working. Now I could actually blow it all through with compressed air, but I thought we'd do it the old school way and start pumping. So what we want to do is keep pumping till we get fuel coming out of here. This could take a while. It must be bone dry. I think I'm going to have to get the airline out and give it a bit of a blast. Back in a minute. So I've put my little cap on. You know, we've done a video about this before. Put this onto the tank. We're going to give it a blast of air. Right, here goes. Now the thing is, I can't see diesel coming out. This is odd. This is very odd. I know you should use proper spanners, but I'm just using an adjustable for now. See if we've got any diesel coming out of there. Anything? Nothing. That's odd. Let's crack off the pipe for going to the tank. Oh, I have to go and get a better spanner. Hang on. This Land Rover's making a monkey out of me. When I pumped it through, there must have been a little bit of diesel in the top of here, you know, in the pump. Let's go and have a look what the real cause is and why I can't pump it through. It might be something to do that the sender's missing. Somebody's just put a rag in there. Oh, bloody hell. There's the return, you see. That's why I can't get any diesel out of it. Well, that's going to put the job back a bit. Typical army, eh? They've robbed it. So, I bet you I haven't got one of those. So that job is now on hold. Picture the scene. There's bottles and bullets and shoes flying all over the place. You're in a real war zone and you haven't even left Middlesbrough yet, so you've got to get this truck going. So how do we do it? Without a sender, without anything really, and just to speed the thing along. So what we're going to do is going to use this diesel fuel pump off a, what is it, I don't know, some car, some Land Rover, I forget now. Anyway, so that I've got, so I was using the red stuff in it is ATF. I was using it to fill the transmission with it the other day. So what we're going to do is clip it on, and hopefully it'll work. Now, which way is going to be best? I'll have to put the camera down. So, is it working? Let's see. There's the air coming out. Yep. So the pump's working. This is a really messy carry on. So we're going to tighten that up. What an environmental disaster. Now, the top bleeder should be bled through. There we go. That's that one. Let me go and get my spanner. Check what's happening down here. Ooh. Ooh. Let's have a look at this. Has got a restrictor in here, but you can see that there's, look at it coming out. That's the best way to bleed these out, with a pump or air, but this is getting us out of an emergency situation. So that's that, and all the time that electric pump's bleeding it through. Now, what about here? Oh shit, yeah, no, that's coming out there alright. I better be careful with my camera. Quite a bit of air in there. Holy shit. Now that's coming out of there. Ooh, at an alarming rate. Let me put the camera on the stand and crank this baby over and see if she's going to start. I have no idea if this has got the glow plugs working or not. Bit of a risk really, but let's have a go and see what it'll do. Nothing. Let's have another look at that air in there. Oh, no, all the air's gone out of there now. So the next thing, we want to test if there's any power going to the stop solenoid. I'll go and get me meter. Right. I go and put the ignition on. The pump's still running, so it's working, it's doing its job. It'll go round and round, it doesn't really matter about turning it off. So, have we got any power? Yes. Next, I'm going to crack off a couple of injectors and make sure that they've got diesel coming through when we crank it. Right, I've cracked those pipes off. Let's see if you can enjoy the moment. We're looking at these two here. Did anything come out? Looks like there was something coming out of here. Again, I'm not sure if the cold start's working. I'll try it. Nothing. Right, so next thing, we're going to give it a kiss of Dr. Death. I really don't like using this stuff, but I want to just see if I can get it to fire, and it might just fire it up. I'm not sure. Let's see. No glow plugs. A little bit of resistance. Now what? Not even a bang. I wonder what's wrong with it. It's obviously, from the sound of it, it's not the timing belt snapped. It's never run for years. God knows what's wrong with it. We were getting power to the stop. Ooh, now wait a minute. Quite a common problem on Land Rovers is that if you put the wire on the switch, ignition switch, the wrong way around, so that means when you're cranking, it actually shuts off the solenoid. It doesn't energize the solenoid, and therefore it's shut off. I'm going to put power to that to make sure that there's power on that switch, on the injector pump solenoid, whilst we're cranking. It's just a bit awkward having the bonnet on. I'm going to see if I can see what's happening to this whilst I crank it. We're only getting 7 volts. I think the battery's a bit low. I'm quite surprised it won't start with easy start. Or maybe it would if the battery was spinning a bit more. I'm going to charge the battery up and give it a go in the morning, because it can't, when it tries to fire, it's not getting onto that sweet spot. Oh, I'll tell you what, whilst we're here, while we're testing these, we'll test the glow plugs. There's a thing to test. All we've done is hooked our multimeter onto there, onto the glow plug. Let's see if it's working. Indeed it is. Well, hey! That's what it needed! Hey! Whoa, sounds like a bag of hammers. Alive! It's alive! You know, that's all I think it wants. It really needs glow plugs to start. shaking like a defecating dog. Now, it looks to me like there's an injector off. So what we're going to do is a quick drop test. I have to be careful of the bloody fan because there's no cowling on it. That one's firing. That one's firing. That one's a bit weak. Maybe that injector's a bit weak. I think we'll have to run it for a while. Anyway, at least it's going. Can't be much wrong with it because it fires on the flip. It has to be something to do with number 3 cylinder, because when I crack it off it doesn't make much of a difference. Watch again. We've got fumes coming out of the breather. Sending smoke signals. Pouring oil out the valve cover. Valve cover's missing a bulb. I think I'm going to stop it because I think I found the nut for the valve cover. I've seen that on the top of the axle there was one of them little acorn nuts. I bet they were looking for that for ages. There you go. We'll put it all back. So, it's very, it really needs glow plugs. I mean, it's about, I don't know, it's about 12-13 degrees today. I thought it wouldn't, I didn't think it would have needed glow plugs, but anyway. Here we go again. See, once you got the air out of it, it starts at 5. But look at it shaking. And it's a bit smoky on the exhaust as well. So tomorrow we're going to work out, I'm not going to do it now because Mr. Jameson, I've just seen him coming down the road. What we're going to work out tomorrow, is it an injector or is it something more serious like a valve or something like that. Now we're going to do that, we're going to swap 2 injectors over. We know that the front one is working quite well. So I might swap them over, we'll see. Or a compression test. On the other hand, it could need just a damn good blast up the damn road. It could be a sticking valve, it could be anything. Let's do that. Let's take it for a damn good thrashing up my hill. See what happens. Anyway, good news is we've got it started and it's 20 to 6. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. We'll have to charge him for 2 hours though. Alright, catch you in a bit.